Hello friends, we have discussed with the temperature transducers. Then we have studied about the thermocouples. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the topic thermopiles, its construction and its working. So let us start with the thermopiles. First of all, we should know what are the temperature transducers. Temperature transducers which converts temperature or the thermal energy into the electrical energy. In the temperature transducers, we have seen thermocouples. So thermocouple can be used to convert thermal energy into the electrical voltage. So that electrical voltage is proportional to the temperature. Now what do you mean by thermopiles? Let us see what do you mean by thermopiles. It is an electronics device, first of all, which converts the thermal energy into the electrical energy, and it consists of several thermocouples connected in series or commonly in parallel. So in the thermopiles, we can say thermopile is nothing but the array of thermocouples which are connected in the series. So thermocouples, we have seen that operates by measuring the temperature difference from their junction point to the point in which the thermocouple output voltage, and it is measured. The thermocouple can be connected in series or in parallel. So when they are connected in series, the junction located on the other side of the thermal resistance, the output from the thermocouple pair will be voltage that is now directly proportional to the temperature, or we can say that is measured or that is proportional to the temperature difference across the thermal resistance layer. Now by adding all these voltages, we are getting the increase in the magnitude of the output voltage. So thermopiles can be constructed with single thermocouple pair composed of two thermocouples or multiple thermocouple pairs. Now as you can see the diagram over here, what we have done here, it is showing the thermopile which composed of multiple thermocouples in series. Now if both the right and the left junctions are same temperature, this right and the left junctions are at the same temperatures, then voltage cancels out and it should be zero. Now whenever if the one side is heated and other side is cooled, resulting total output voltage is equal to the sum of junction voltages differentials. So that is what we have seen in the cold junction compensation method. Now let us see how does it work. Now this is the thermopile. It is serially connected array of the thermocouples, and each of which consists of two dissimilar materials with a large thermoelectric power and opposite polarities. You can see here, this is copper wire and the iron wire which are connected in the series of arrays and which must be having the electric power, large thermoelectric power, and it is having the opposite polarities here. And in this you can see at the end of this you are getting output voltage, and this output voltage is nothing but the summation of all the junction voltages here, and that output voltage is varying or it is proportional to the temperature difference at all the junctions. So to maintain this, the temperature at the hot junctions and the temperature at the cold junction should be different. Now thermopile, it is an array of the several thermocouples connected in series. If the thermocoil with n thermocouples, then the output will be n times bigger than the one produced by the single thermocouple. So it is that much time doubles or that much times the single thermocouple voltage. So with enough elements in the thermopile, a useful voltage can be generated in order to control the another process, and this type of transducer is oftenly used to measure the heat flux, where measuring the heat flux is necessary. At that junction or at that point, the thermopiles are used, because these thermopiles are nothing but the area of the thermocouples, where the summation of all the voltages at the junctions is calculated, and that summation is the output voltage, which is proportional to the temperature differences at the two terminals. Now let us see differential temperature thermopile. What do you mean by differential temperature thermopiles? So in this diagram, what you can see here, there is a thermal resistance layer, a heat flux Q. Now this is temperature 1 and this is temperature 2, and here you are getting this delta V. Now what is this delta V? Delta V, it is the potential difference which is proportional to the temperature difference. Now this temperature difference is nothing but the temperature T2 minus T1. So temperature at this junction, temperature at this junction, it gives you the difference in the temperature, and this difference in the temperature gives you the difference in the voltages. So this gives you the potential difference delta V, that is V1 minus V2. So what we have seen in this diagram, that with two sets of the thermocouple which are paired connected in series, the two top thermocouple junctions are at the temperature T1, while the two bottom thermocouple junctions at the temperature T2. Now the output voltage from the thermopile is delta V. Now this delta V is directly proportional to the temperature difference delta T. Now across this thermal resistance layer and the number of the thermocouple junction pair, we are measuring this delta T, that is T1 minus T2, and that delta T is proportional to the delta V. The thermopile voltage is directly proportional to the heat flux Q through the thermal resistance layer. Now this is the important point, that in the thermopile, the output voltage, that is delta V, is directly proportional to the heat flux Q. Now again you can see in this diagram, this is the array of the thermocouples which is formed to produce a thermopile. So the blue color you can see, these are the material A type, and yellow color shows the material B type. And this is the positive lead, this is negative lead, and in between these two leads you have to measure the voltage, total output voltage, and that total output voltage is proportional to the heat flux Q. So this is active junction, and this is how the heat is flowing, and this is called as reference junction. So this reference junction, we can call it as a cold junction, and this active junction we can call it as a hot junction, and this is the temperature difference. We can say this is temperature 2, this is temperature 1, and T1 minus T2, and this gives you the temperature difference delta T between reference junctions and the active junction. And when these are connected, it will give you voltage V1, V2 like this, and the summation of all these voltages will give you delta V, that is the output voltage, which is proportional to the delta T. So this is how output voltage is measured in the thermopile. So these thermopiles do not respond to the absolute temperature, but it generates the output voltage which is proportional to the local temperature difference or the temperature gradient. Now in the thermopiles, voltage is proportional to the temperature gradient, but they do not respond to the absolute temperatures. Now these thermopiles are used to provide an output in response to the temperature as the part of the temperature measuring device, such as these are used in the infrared thermometers. These are used in the medical industries. Now what are the applications of the thermopiles? The thermopile detectors are the thermal detectors that can be utilized the Seebeck effect. So we have seen the Seebeck effect in the thermocouples, in which the thermal electromotive force is generated in proportional to the incident infrared light energy. So what is Seebeck effect? In the Seebeck effect, the electromotive force which is generated, that is directly proportional to the temperature difference, or we can say the incidence infrared light. So here these thermocouples or thermopile detectors are used to measure the electromotive force which is directly proportional to the incident infrared light energy. So these thermopiles basically they don't have wavelength, or they don't depend on the wavelength, so they can be used for the various types of the window materials for the diverse applications such as temperature measurement, human body sensing, and the gas analysis. Now let us see what are the advantages of the thermopiles. First of all, we should say that this thermopile, it is an active device. Why it is called as active device? Because it does not require any external power supply. In this, the thermal energy is directly converted into the EMF generated. Now it gives the stable response to the DC radiation emitted from the temperature measuring bodies. It gives you the stable response characteristics. Now let us see how to measure the EMF in the thermocouples, or what are the thermocouple EMF measurement methods. Let us focus on. In this first diagram, what you can see here, the first law. This first law, it is for the homogeneous circuit. So in the homogeneous circuit, it states that in the circuit composed of the single homogeneous method cannot generate an electric potential by application of the even sufficient temperature difference between two difference points of the circuit. So what is happening here? Because this is the homogeneous circuit. Why it is called as homogeneous circuit? Because at the two junctions, the metals which are connected, that are homogeneous, that are identical. And when these metals are identical, so the temperature difference which is generated at the two junctions, that is same. And when two same temperatures are generated at both the junctions, the EMF which is produced, that is zero voltage. So this is the first law for the homogeneous circuit, where the homogeneous conductors are connected and where the junction temperature is measured and EMF generated, that is zero due to the same junction temperatures. Now the second law is known as thermocouple law of the intermediate metals. Now what do you mean by intermediate metals? So these intermediate metals is nothing but in between the two metals, the third kind of a conductor or the third kind of metal is inserted. So due to that third metal, there is a difference in the temperature changes and the voltage is changing. So this is the thermocouple law of intermediate metals, which states that the net EMF in the circuit consisting of the interconnections of the number of unlike metals. So number of unlike metals, that is different metals, maintained at the same temperature is zero. That means if other metal conductors are inserted in the thermocouple circuit, the junctions of these interconnected metal conductors are in the same temperatures. Then the output EMF will not be affected and the remains same as it was made only two metals. Now what is happening in this? Whenever we are inserting the third metal in between two unlike metals, the temperature at that junction where the third metal is inserted, it should have the same temperature. So when it is having the same temperature at that third junction where the third metal is inserted, due to the same temperature, the output voltage will not get affected. So here you can see the EMF at junction 1 and 2 and EMF at junction 2 and 3. That means between 1 and 3 you are getting the same EMF as you are getting the EMF at 1, 2 and 2, 3. So at the junction T2, whatever the third metal is inserted, that must be having the same temperature that is having at junction 1 and junction 3. So that's why here we are getting the same voltage which is produced at these two junctions. Now here what you can see, there is a temperature T1, T2, T3. Now here we are getting the difference, or we are getting the voltage which is combination of E1 plus E2 which is equals to E3. Now how does it work? Let us see. This is the third law, which is a successive or intermediate temperature where the EMF E1 is generated, where two dissimilar metals have junctions at the temperature T1 and T2, and the EMF E2 results from the temperature T2 and T3. So see here this is the EMF which is generated E2 at the junction T1 and T3, and the EMF generation at T2 and T3, that is E2, and EMF generated at T1 and T3 is E1. So this E1 plus E2, we are getting E3 over here. So this is the third law. Third law, it states that successive or the intermediate temperatures where EMF E1 is generated, where two dissimilar metals have junctions at the temperature T1 and T2, and the EMF E2 results for the temperature T2 and T3. So it follows that EMF E1 and E2 results at the output terminals when the junctions are at the temperature T1 and T3. So this principle makes it possible for the calibration curve derives for the given reference junction temperature to be used to determine the calibration curves for the another reference temperature. So this is the third law we have seen for the EMF measurements of the thermopile. So this is all about the thermocouple, thermopiles and the EMF generation methods of the thermocouples. Thank you.